welcome to what is, for me, a Monday. Mondays are a big cleaning day in my house, so food has to happen reasonably quickly. For that reason, I have something of a one-pot meal going on here. It's from the Forks Over Knives flavor cookbook. It's called, and I'm sure I'm not pronouncing this right, Royal Khuchuri. Here's this beautiful picture. You can see rice in there, carrots, potatoes, peas. There's also onion, garlic. You can see cilantro. There's a whole bunch of spices. Garam masala, coriander, cumin, turmeric. There's cilantro. There's lime juice. There's a little salt. But what I wanted to talk to you today about are choices. So again, I'm going to show you this picture. If you look closely, mine does not look like the picture. In fact, I'll show it to you. It's a very heavy pot. Mine is considerably darker. And the reason for why it is darker is because I made some choices. So there are yellow lentils or green split peas. There's no hint of yellow in here either. I utilized a black rice. So I cooked in the rice cooker the black rice, the yellow lentil, and I decided to skip the white rice altogether. I had some black rice I wanted to use up, and I didn't want, the recipe called for 3/4 cup of rice and 3/4 cup of lentils. I used 3/4, maybe a cup of rice, and like 3 cups of lentils, because I don't want to save the bag. So this is darker because it all cooked together, that black with that yellow, and is creating sort of a gray look. There are regular russet potatoes in there, there's carrots in there, there's fresh green bean. I'm using some frozen peas, which I'm putting in at the very end. I'm done cooking right now, but when you are utilizing frozen veggies, they just don't need a lot of cooking, and they become just kind of a soft, ugly color really quickly. So I always just put them in at the very last second. Also, she talks about leaving her rice and her lentils kind of bulky. She likes that as a texture. For our family, like I'm gonna mix this all up, and it's just gonna sit here. And people are gonna eat in shifts as they need the food. But let's say that you were too busy. You didn't have time for chopping up your carrots or your fresh green beans or whatever. You could go and buy a bag of frozen mixed veggies. You could buy your green beans already cut up. There's things that you can do so that this would just be a faster deal. You could even buy your onions frozen if you want. Just throw it in, put the spices with it, and you're done. So I want to make sure, just to kind of mention, I have these recipes. They function as jumping off points for me, for sure, but I am not hard and fast. I make some decisions. If later on I find out that the kids find this too spicy for their palate, I might add a creamy sauce. I have like several just kind of going in the fridge. There's like a coconut lime or something like that. Sometimes just a sweet chili sauce over the top. It doesn't really go. They don't really know the difference. So if there's a way in which you need to kind of modify for your family, go ahead. But this is a one-pot meal that works really. I mean, I've never had this one. This is kind of new to me as well. But it works for me to have a one-pot meal. The other thing I wanted to talk to you about is meal planning in general. So this is the last week in October for me. So I have already created a November list. So I write my meals up Monday through Friday. And then I make a separate grocery list sheet. Now, I still use paper because I hang it on the fridge. That's helpful for me. You could do it on a computer, whatever is most helpful for you, or not do it at all. Thanksgiving is in November, so the whole Thanksgiving meal is on the back. On the side, I tend to note, so here I have dates, here I have what I'm making. On this margin, pardon me, I put things that are happening on those days so that when I'm planning my menu, I can think about how much time am I going to have, what kind of a meal do I need. I'm also cooking from a variety of cookbooks. I can actually show you. So basically, like, I sit down for a night and I sit down with whatever cookbooks I want to work from. And then I try to purposely use a variety of cookbooks. So, you know, I might say I'm going to use that whole bowls at least one time this week. I'm going to use my Skinny Taste Fast and Slow book at least one time this week. We have our meat Thursday, so I'm going to make sure that that's coming from a certain, away. I've been trying to do better with this. I'm going to look and say, do I have too many bean dishes? Do I have too many tofu dishes? Am I appropriately spreading it all out? I am not perfect at that. Sometimes I have like 3 tofu dishes in one week and then 0 the next, or 3 bean dishes and then, more tofu the next, right? So same with noodles. Like I try to look at it and say, I have a noodle dish, I have a rice dish, I have, a soup. So I try to move through and have a variety throughout the week. So like that first week I have a curry, then I have sort of a salad, then I have a black bean soup with quinoa and kale, then I have a turkey zucchini meatballs with pasta, and then a curried shepherd's pie. So there's actually 2 curries that week, but they're separated. But it's sort of like Indian, a really cool salad with sweet potatoes and beets and cabbage. It's just going to be kind of fun. The black bean soup, kind of arguably Mexican-ish. That Italian with the meatballs and spaghetti, and then back to a curried shepherd's pie, which is really sort of a English-based thing because a lot of Indian people had ended up living in England for not always the greatest reasons, but they're there now. The next week, same kind of thing. I have a veggie korma, again, like a one-pot dish, an almond noodle salad. So I go from an Indian to a Thai feel. A yellow split pea zucchini stew over Persian dill and butterbean pilaf. That's going to be a bit Indian, I'm guessing. Although I'm not sure. It's Persian. I haven't done a lot with Persian. That'll be fun. There's dill in there. A stuffed pepper soup. So I go for that Italian again. And then this edamame, almond butters, buckwheat noodles. I don't even know what that quite qualifies. Fusion is probably. But it's really tasty. And so I just get this mix of things. So I just wanted to point that out when it comes to meal planning. That's how I think about it. When people ask me, how do you do it? Right, part of what I'm showing you each day, like this is prepped ahead of time, or right, the lentils and rice could cook over here while I was doing the onions and garlic over here. I don't have everything cut up ahead of time. I let those onions cook while I chop up my potatoes. But meal prep is also part of it. It was dumping buckets yesterday. So rainy. We ran into the store. We were in and out in 10 minutes. Grab all the vegetables we need, throw them in, get the cans that we need. So it's fast to do it when you have a plan and you've really thought it through. It takes me a couple of hours, probably because I'm also like talking or watching TV or whatever, but it's worth it in the end. So I just wanted to put all that out there. I hope you're having a great day. I really enjoy sharing all of this with you, so I hope that it's helpful, and we'll see you later. Bye-bye.